This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Brandon Andrus Green.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast Live. Breaking the cycle of poverty usually means looking at the whole family, not just one piece of the problem. Today we're talking with Karen Tilkin, Executive Director and CEO of CAP Tulsa, about what it actually looks like and why early childhood education can have an impact that reaches far beyond the classroom. Karen, welcome.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, I so appreciate you being here. And based off my research, I've noticed that you were previously in international banking and then had a leadership career with Bama and including some overseas travel. How in the world did you get from that world into this world?
Well, Brandon, I know it all seems very like disjointed on paper, but I would say the through line has been just growing my perspective, growing my knowledge, and my leadership capacity throughout all of these adventures you just named. So yeah, international banking was a great entree into the business world from my undergraduate business education. It's kind of commercial banking is a great way to get to know a lot of different types of businesses, a lot of different people, hone those presentation skills, and I was stationed in New York and then Hong Kong and Taipei, so I got a chance to interact with different cultures, both within the U.S., coming from Oklahoma, and then also abroad. So yeah, I think that was a sort of a starting point, and then my 17-year career with Bama was just a beautiful opportunity to learn from the best. Paula Marshall is just a rock star leader, right? And she afforded me amazing opportunities to learn and grow and develop. In my 20s, I went to China and set up a manufacturing plant and ran it for 5 years. Made the pies for the first McDonald's that opened in Beijing in 1992.
Wow.
Yeah. And then came back to Tulsa for another 12 years with Bama in successive leadership roles. So when the opportunity with CAP became available, my predecessor and founder, Stephen Dow, was looking for someone to help him run the agency more like a business, be more systematic, more data-driven. It seemed like a natural fit for me. I had 2 small children at home at the time, and it was very hard to juggle being traveling internationally or even traveling domestically, lots of conferences, lots of meetings, and then trying to be a good wife and mother. So it seemed like a great opportunity to transition into something that was purely local, but could allow me to still step up in my leadership capacity and use all the skills I learned over the years to help CAP become all that it could be as a high-performing nonprofit agency.
So for some of our listeners that have never heard of CAP Tulsa, what exactly is that? What all do you guys do?
Yeah, so CAP stands for Community Action Project. That's our original name, and then we shortened it in recent years. So we are a community action agency. We are one of 17 CAAs in Oklahoma. Most communities across the country have a community action agency, and we're essentially an anti-poverty agency. And so we take a look at the community needs and determine where we feel like we can best have an impact for our neighbors in Tulsa and around the whole. We are Tulsa County is our service area, so we look at the whole spectrum of folks around Tulsa County. And the agency, my predecessor, Stephen, decided about now 27 years ago that the best bet we could make was in early childhood education, because all the research has pointed to that brain development is mostly forming in the first 3 years of life. 90% of our brains are developed when we're very young, and even starting in the womb. So we felt like if there was an opportunity to break the cycle of poverty, we needed to start with the very youngest children and help nurture and develop those little brains to be able to be ready for kindergarten and beyond and lifelong success. And the research is very profound in how high quality early learning and early education impacts a child all the way through adulthood. And that's where we've put all of our poker chips, as it were, since the beginning. So CAP Tulsa has 9 schools across the metro area. Yeah. We serve over 1,600 children.
Oh my goodness.
6 weeks to 5 years old, year-round. And the agency has about 128 classrooms. We have 630 employees, mostly teachers. So we are quite a big enterprise serving young children and their families. So that's a really important component of our work, is we are 2-generation. We are serving both generations at the same time, helping to break that cycle of poverty so the children we serve don't grow up and continue having a life of economic hardship is really our goal.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people probably think early childhood education means like simply preparing a child for kindergarten. Well, what are they missing when they think about it in that manner?
Right. So Head Start is in the news, right? So we are a Head Start grantee. We're actually the largest Head Start grantee in Oklahoma. And that's not our only source of funding, but we do adopt the Head Start model, which is a full services model for the children and families. So the children, we are preparing them for school. Yes, they come out of CAP knowing their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s usually, mostly. But more importantly, we build social emotional skills that get them ready for school, help them learn how to get along with their peers, how to share, how to get along with their teachers, listen to their teachers, and be able to problem solve, be able to learn reasoning skills. So these are called executive function skills. It's a big name for little people, but it's the skills that help us all be successful in life, kind of like delayed gratification, right?
Right.
And so we teach the children this full spectrum of skills, but also we help nurture their physical development and make sure that they have their health needs met and that their parents are connected with primary care docs and getting all their well child checks and things. And so we're really trying to help lift up the whole family. We offer parenting classes for parents. We help parents achieve their goals to help the whole family if they want to get a new job or they need to move to a safer home or whatever that goal might be. We have family services advocates who help the families while one-on-one while we're working with the children in the classrooms.
And I know you've been doing this long enough now to actually see some results. What does success kind of look like when you see a child and their family come through CAP Tulsa?
Right. Well, we do have now decades of results from CAP Tulsa. In fact, we've been participating in a longitudinal data study with Georgetown University in DC. They've been tracking kids who went through CAP Tulsa and Tulsa public pre-K more than 20 years ago. And we know the data is very compelling. We've watched it over the years. Those kiddos were more likely to have higher attendance in elementary school, middle school, and high school. They were more likely to take more rigorous classes, like they were more likely to enroll in AP or IB classes, less likely to repeat a grade, so therefore more likely to graduate on time. And there's these kiddos that have been tracked now for all this time were more likely to go to a 2 or 4 year college and graduate. It's been long enough we can track that.
Yeah.
They even had higher earnings than their peers, and there was even a study done, they were more likely to vote, so they had higher citizenship behaviors. So we know, and these are young people in their 20s, early 20s now, so We know the program works. We've seen it year after year academically, but also with more lifelong success measures. So there's just no replacement for a high quality early learning program to get kids ready for school and for life. And I think that's the most important thing. And then for the families, we are equipping them to advocate for their children. If their children have some kind of special needs and they go into the next school system and need to learn how to advocate for their child, get the resources they need, and also just in general how to support their children's learning. Building literacy skills. That's a hot topic right now in Oklahoma, right?
Right.
It all starts in our program. It actually starts in our infant and toddler rooms. We're building literacy skills that stack into 3-year-old and 4-year-old rooms, and these kiddos are then equipped to be in larger kindergarten classrooms and beyond. So we're using the same benchmark as Tulsa Public for measuring the quality of our pre-K classrooms, and we compare results, and we know that we are doing an excellent job preparing kids for school and therefore for literacy, later literacy skills, and hopefully reading by 3rd grade, right? That's what we all want.
Well, for let's say there's some parents listening right now who may be struggling and wondering whether CAP Tulsa could actually help their family. Who should they reach out to? Where should they start?
Yeah, I think it's important to emphasize back to the fact we're an anti-poverty agency. So all of the funding we receive from the federal government and the state government is tied to income eligibility. So all the families we serve have to income qualify. And but they're welcome to go to our website at www.captulsa.org, and there's a really easy pathway to the admissions process, and if they read the criteria for admissions, they can submit an application, and then one of our team members can get back with them to see if they have the proper documents and can qualify for the program. I would love to be able to serve all young children in Tulsa, but unfortunately our resources don't allow that. There are many more needs in the community than we're able to serve, unfortunately, but we do the best that we can with the dollars we get. We're very grateful to the state for also having a very strong early childhood program that's nationally recognized, the Oklahoma Early Childhood Program. So we're blending funding from different sources and trying to serve as many kids as we can. But the best place to start is our website, and it's very easy to apply online, and it works just as well on your phone as it does on a computer.
And so for those that are wanting to volunteer or donate, is it also best they go to the website?
It is, absolutely. We are, of course, on social media, Facebook, Instagram. But it's easy to go to the website. There's a donate button. There are volunteer forms. We welcome folks into our classrooms. We participate in United Way Day of Caring. So we're very proud of the work we do. We have beautiful schools, and we have a lot of folks who love to come in and read to the children or somehow get involved in other ways. So we welcome that assistance, absolutely.
That's amazing. I love what you guys are doing. Karen, I so appreciate you being on the show, and I wish you and CAP Tulsa the best moving forward.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be spotlighted, Brandon. It's been very nice to have this opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnptulsa.com. That's gnptulsa.com. Or call 918-301-6356.